Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve, and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Alright, in our last episode, making an EVA foam Gambol Shroud Part 1, we got most of this thing knocked out. And it's turned out perfect. Super easy, super fun, a little bit of a puzzle, but not hard. So, in this episode, making an EVA foam Gambol Shroud Part 2, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to finish the top blade on here, which is totally easy, and then we're going to seal it and paint it, and that's a simple paint job. We're going to get it all black, we're going to age it up, we're going to damage it, scratch it up, dirty it up, so this thing looks weathered and battle damaged. And it's going to be really easy. So, if you're ready to hit it, let's make something. Alright, here we go. Now we're going to do the top blade that looks like it's folded over. We've got a 6mm base, and we're going to skin both sides of it with these 4mm pieces and then cut it out. Alright, there we go, just like that. Now we're going to do this one. Alright, there we go. We're going to do that on both sides, and then we're going to glue it, get them all together. Okay, now we're going to have to watch all of our pieces so they don't fall down and touch each other. Alright, we're going to line up our corner right here. And right here. Okay, so we've got this edge down. Now we're going to line up right down the edge of our piece. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to come down and we're going to line up right along this outside edge back here. Alright, now we're going to come in with our template for cutting. Alright, here we go. There's our template. Alright, now we're transferring our cutting line over. Now, we're going to take this over to the bandsaw and the scroll saw, and we're going to cut it out. Alright, there we go. Check it out. We've got the cool little recess down in here. We've got our cut done. Nice. Now, the reason we did all of that craziness is because this is going to come in and it's going to line. Actually, we messed up. We got to take that tip off right there. Let's go take it off. Alright, there we go. We took that little edge off. Now, what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to come in and line this up here. And it's going to go all the way down to here. Alright, now we're a little bit long on this end. So we're going to from here. Alright, that's it, just like that. Alright, that's where we're going to taper our blade. Let's transfer it over to this side also. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to taper our blade. But what we need to do is we need to make a center mark all the way down our blade. So let's do that. Okay, there we go. There's our center line down our blade. And here we've got our two inside marks. So now we're going to come in and we're going to Dremel. Alright, we're going to Dremel from this edge, from this line to this line, making it come to a peak in the middle. And then we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on this side so the whole blade comes to a peak. Alright, there we go. We just cut those edges off. Now we can start Dremeling. Alright, there we go. Check it out. Nice taper. Right to the center of our blade. Okay, now we're going to flip it around and we're going to do this side so that the whole blade comes to a peak. We went from the inside line to the center, and then from this inside line to the center, and we've got a nice peak. All right, let's come in with our 220 sanding stick. Let's get this a little smoother. It's pretty smooth right now, but this really helps. All right, now we're going to come in with our 320. All right, there we go. Nice and smooth. Wow. Let's seal it. All right, there we go. Nice. We've got our mark on the front, down the center, and we're going to do it in here and along here. All right, there we go. Let it dry. Perfect, right in the center. All right, now look at that. We've got really nice contact up against here and in the corner. All right, now we can come in nice and tight and line this up with our Sharpie mark we drew in the center. Smush it down just to make sure we got really great contact. All right, there we go. Pretty cool. Right down the center. We've got nice tight contact right down in here in the corner and then all the way down. Really nice. And just notice we have a couple little overcuts right there in the corner. We'll use our quick seal to fill those in later. But that's it, man. Think of that thing. That's pretty cool. All right, now we have this little 6mm piece. We drew some marks in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks. Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 little pieces we're going to use from this. And what we're going to do first is we're going to cut a bevel, okay? Because we want one side of this to have a really steep bevel. So we're going to come in with our straight edge and roll right through here on a really steep angle, like that. All right, there. Roll this over. We're going to come over here to the peak. The peak of our bevel right here. All right, we're going to come in, we're going to line our edge up right along that line, and we're going to go straight through like that. Right, there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make these 4 little cuts that we had marked. All right, we have this little tiny piece. It's got a triangle shape to it. So what we're going to be able to do is lay it over like this. Right there and right there. All right, that's what we're going to do. Look at that. That is nice. We're going to do that on both sides. So all right, we're going to get to the bottom and the back. Those are really nice little details right there on both sides. Sweet. All right, we got an extra piece of 6mm left over in our leftover bin. We took our circle guide, we drew this double circle out, and we're going to cut this out, and we're going to cut the center hole out. All right, let's try this. We're going to take our brass tube, we're going to cut this center piece out. All right, there we go. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. That's pretty darn cool. All right, now we're going to come in and we're going to soften that top edge with our Dremel. we go. Perfect. There it is, right in the center. Really cool. Okay, we drew these little silver dots right here and right here on both sides. We're going to come in with our little bit. We're going to make a cool little rivet mark. Pretty cool. All right, now we're going to come in with our quick seal, and we're going to fix a couple of these little cut marks we mentioned. This is real easy. Just come in with a little bit of quick seal. Where was that at? Right here. All right, look at that. See that? Filled in those cut marks right in the corner. Pretty nice. I think I saw a couple tiny ones. Here we go, right here is a little one, right there. Filled in that one. All right, so we came in with our quick seal and a little spatula, and we got inside some of these areas where there was a little cut mark here, here, and there was a cut mark down the front of that foam because we used a piece of foam before we checked and it had a cut mark through it, so we filled most of it in, got it wet and smoothed it out. So there we go, a couple little patches with our quick seal. When it dries and we seal it, you won't see those. Pretty cool. Nice. All right, so with that last detail, the quick seal, that brings the build portion of our Gambol Shroud to a close. All right, sweet, look at that. That thing's coated with a few layers of Plastidip, not bad. Pretty jamming. All right, let's let it dry, and then we're gonna do a super easy paint job. Super easy. Okay, we're out at the spray stand. We're gonna begin spraying our Gambol Shroud with our satin black. Now look what we did. We drilled into the handle, put a tiny little support in there so we can hold that while we're painting it. All right, we're gonna leave this alone and let it dry, and then after it dries, we're gonna do some real light painting on it. This will be really easy. But there you go. All right, now, even though we used satin finish, we didn't use gloss, this is really shiny. I mean, really shiny. It said satin, but satin is usually kind of in between dull and shiny, but that's like ultra crazy shiny still, so not feeling it. All right, so what we're gonna do is this. We are going to take this super shiny Gambol Shroud and we're gonna come in and we're gonna knock it down with some matte finish just to take some of that crazy shine off of there. All right, there we go. Look at that. That's way better, way less shiny, way less. That's it, man. Perfect. It's not matte finish, but it's not gloss. It's kind of right in between. All right, now that's satin. I'm digging it. Okay, part one of our very easy paint job is done. We sprayed our shroud with our black and then we hit it with a coat of matte varnish just to tone it down a little bit. Now we're going to come in with our wrought iron. Okay, you've seen us do this a bunch of times before. When you're doing something black, if you come in with wrought iron, it's a dark gray, has a little bit of blue in it, and you dab it around, you can break up the black and make it look like some of the black areas are starting to kind of turn and oxidize a little bit. Look at that. That is so cool, and it is that easy. All right, there we go. Look at that. See all those little gray patches all over it? It's just enough to give it that oxidized look. We did it up on the front areas too, and we did it all on this side. All right, we're going to come in with our silver now. Okay, getting a little bit dangerous. I don't want to mess it up. All right, let's slide a piece of painter's tape down in here. Just so we can get right up against this edge but not hit our black part. All right, there we go. Now we can get down here in the corner without hitting our black part. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with our brush. All right, there we go. We cut in all the way around the edge, and because we're using the brush and not the sponge brush, the coverage is a little bit thin, so we'll let it dry, and then we will hit a second coat on there, and then we'll do the same thing to this side. Coated, and the top edge trimmed in, just like that. Now we don't have to be perfect on this because we're going to weather it, so it's okay if we don't have total coverage. It's a little bit patchy in some spots. It's okay, because we're going to mud wash that up a little bit. Cool. All right, here we go. We're going to be doing some scratch marks, so we're going to come in with the acid brush. But what we want to do is cut off some of the bristles. So we're going to cut it off about halfway. Now we've got the bristles really short. All right, now we're going to come in, because we don't want bristles falling off. A little bit of super glue around the very bottom. All right, so now we've got this short and stiff. All right, let it dry. Put a little bit of silver on a paper towel. Dab it in. Look at that. Wow, is that nice. Really subtle. Look at that. Wow, perfect. We've got the wrought iron in here to like break up the black with some gray to look oxidized, and then we're just hitting some edges. Pretty nice. Just keep going around the whole thing, hit the edges and some spots, and look at that, man. That thing is scratched up. Sweet. That's nice. Loving it. All right, look at that. Okay, now we're going to make a little stencil for our little detail that's going to be painted on the handle. All right, we put our modeling tape down, we transferred it over. Now it's as easy as coming through here and cutting it out. Just like that, one piece at a time. All right, there we go. All right, now carefully peel it up. Okay, we're going to stick it right down on there. Now, what happened is this, too. By sticking our tape down to the cutting board, it takes a little bit of the adhesive off of the back of it, so it's not so strong, okay? So we don't want to push down too hard. We don't want to make sure that we have the edges down tight, though, for sure. We're going to come with this little tiny sponge brush. And then we're going to peel it off, and voila! Okay, now we're going to do the same thing here. We've got our tape down for our stripes that are going to go on our blade. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to pull our tape off. Nice. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get a brush, a little bit of white on it. We're going to cut in right down here just to get a nice sharp edge right up against the bottom of that top blade. And we're going to cut in on the bottom of this top blade so that the stripes connect. There we go. Right there, we got the tops and we got this underneath part. Pretty cool. All right, here we go. Now we're going to get a little bit of mud wash on these parts. All right, so we're just going to come in here with a little bit of brown. There we go. Tiny little bit of water. Get some of the water out of the way so it's a little bit on the drier side. Let the water run over to the other side. All right, here we go. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it. There you go. Instant crud. Okay, now we're on the logo. Right there. Now you've seen us do this before. Choose a couple little spots and come in. And darken it up. All right, there we go. That's nice. Nice and cruddy. All right, there we are. We've got crud on our three places. On both sides, nice and dirty. All right, man, look at that thing. That is crazy awesome. We've got the all over black. We've got the wrought iron gray spots just to break it up and make it look oxidized in here. Really cool, really cool. Then came in with our tiny little acid brush and we put on all of our scratches all the way around everything to make it look banged up. And then we just came in and we did a little bit of mud wash on our three spots right here. That's it, man. So with that last detail, the mud wash, that brings our Gambol Shroud build to a close. There it is. Very, very cool and very easy. The Gambol Shroud. Look at that bad boy. Or that bad girl, I should say. Scratched up, dirty. We finished off the blade and then we sealed it with Plastidip, sprayed it with our black, and it was a little bit shiny, so we hit it with some matte finish varnish to dull it down a little bit. Came in with our wrought iron and dabbed all the gray around it just to give it that sort of oxidized feel, which is cool. And then we came in with the silver brush. Did all the scratch marks all over the edges, painted up our 2 silver brackets there, and did a little stencil work too down here on the handle. Real easy stuff with some modeling tape. Put our logos on the handle and on the blade, our stripes on the blade, and finished it up with something that's always fun. That's the mud wash. That gives it that really nice, natural, dirtied up and grungy look. What can I say? I love this thing, man. Super cool, super easy, and really, really neat. Gambol Shroud. Cool. Alright, that concludes making an EVA foam Gambol Shroud Part 2. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Oh, thanks for coming. See you next time.